Hey everybody, welcome to the studio. In this video I'd like to cover buses used with mixing, and there's numerous ways to use buses, and I would like to cover one of the ways that is very useful, and I think you'll find it helpful when you're mixing, when you have a fair amount of tracks. I put this backing track together here, and it doesn't have an excessive lot of tracks here. I've got 18 tracks, but I've got a lot of tracks that are similar. For instance, I've got all the drums here. Now these are MIDI drums, obviously. I've got the tune track set up going, but I've got the kick, snare, hi-hat. They're all broken out. And likewise over here, I've got, with these 4 tracks, I've got 2 MIDI tracks, and I've got 2 different bass sounds. I'm running this bass sound here, and then along with this bass sound, more of a slap, but I've got them combined together. And then moving on, a little bit of Rhodes, and then I've got these 2 tracks, a little percussive rhythmic synthesizer thing, and then a loop. A little bit of organ, and the strings. Just kind of tucked way back in there. And then lastly, these 2 rhythm guitar tracks. Now what I've done, moving back to my drums and showing you, I've grouped all of these drums. If you notice, I'm coming over to this bus here. Now I've got 5 buses set up, and I'll go into this last bus here, this reverb bus, in another video, but I want to show you my groupings here. But I've got the drums all grouped into this one bus, and then this bus then goes into the master. So this is acting like a master volume for the drums. Same for the bass. Remember, I had the 4 bass sounds. Here we go, right over here. Again, this helps me to combine these tracks into one manageable fader. And the little rhythmic thing that I was talking about earlier, the little synthy thing, I put that together with my loops. And then lastly, I group my 2 guitars on this particular bus here. Now the reason that this becomes very handy is, say that I've worked on my drums quite a bit, and I really haven't gone into them a lot here, but specifically I'll just show you, I've got a little EQ happening here on the drums, and in Sonar, if I fly out the Pro channel, I've got some other things happening here also. Little console emulation, I've got a limiter. On the kick, I've got also another limiter, some console emulation, and I don't have that particular compressor going. And again, the console emulation, and you can see the EQ I've got going on the hi-hat. So I've worked a little bit on the drums, but suppose I would like to lower the volume of the drums only. Rather than grabbing all these faders, now I could group them together and pull them down, but it's so much easier just to go ahead and pull that main fader down. I'm going to pull that rhythm track down. So after I've gotten happy with everything that's set up with my drums, then I can control the volume. bring in the rhythm element to my taste there. Now maybe a lead is coming up, and I might want to bring up my rhythm guitars. So it makes grouping a lot easier. Now in another video I'm going to get into what you can do with effects, and just as a quick intro here, I've got the reverb is on a bus. I've got a couple of tracks where I'm sending my reverb. There's a send here on my Rhodes, my percussion sound, a little bit of organ, and I'm combining them all going to a reverb track here. But I'll get into that a little bit more in another video. But as you can see, grouping buses is very helpful for controlling a lot of like instruments and making it manageable with one particular fader. This is very popular with live mixing too. For instance, if you have a bunch of background singers and you've got their blend all matched up, and you want to bring the background singers up or down in relation to the main vocals, you can just do that with one fader. That same sort of situation here. Well, that's grouping instruments with buses in this video, and I hope to see you in the next video here where I will talk more about effects, and we'll see you in that one, guys. Thanks a lot.